the airport in Austin and coming back from her.
Susan, I turned you down. You're tuned you off because you're making too much noise. Okay. Want to welcome everybody. I had somebody I thought was going to come in as a guest, but she didn't show up here, so she may pop in later. Just have a few announcements. We only have 2 assignments left for the year for October and November. October's assignment is a low angle perspective, and November's is the multi-layered panorama. Our education night for September, we only have two education nights left, September and October, because November it falls on Thanksgiving. So our September education will be low angle perspective. Jim is going to do that. We have a lot of questions about this assignment, so he'll do that next week, and hopefully we'll have enough time to actually utilize what he tells you before we have to turn in the images. And then October, we're going to do our member takeover. Robert was going to do a talk this month on this multi-layer panorama, but he's going to be on a plane during that time next week. So that's when we switched it to Jim, and he will be doing his talk during our member takeover, which is multiple members are going to be doing short talks for our October education night. We may have to make some adjustments to the schedule next month because some of us are going to be out of town, but I will let you know if that's happening. We haven't decided what we're going to do yet, but I will let you know if we're making any shift. It would be shifting everything back a week. There are actually 5 Thursdays next month, so we might shift it down a week, but we haven't decided whether or not we're going to do that yet, so I'll let you know. We mentioned the board retreat. I just wanted to let you guys know this is something that the board does pretty much every year, and it is not by any means paid for by the club. It's just all of us pay our own way. The club does not put a penny into this board retreat. But what we do is we go and we spend some time together, bonding with each other, doing some photography, doing some eating, hanging out at the house we rent. And we also spend about 3 hours on a board meeting, which we usually only do about an hour when we meet monthly. We spend 3 hours talking about what we're going to do for next year in terms of outings, speakers. We actually put together a whole list of assignments, and then we vote on them. And so that's how we figure out what the assignments are going to be each year. And we will address all this and get it out to everybody probably in November or early December once we've got it all finalized. But I just wanted to let you know some comments have been made about us using the club money, and that is not the case. We pay for all of this ourselves. So just FYI. Is there any other comments or questions from anybody? Robert, do you have anything?
Not at this time.
Hey, Lynn.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't tell. So when will the assignments for that
You just said probably December.
no, the one for looking up or whatever that is. I'm sorry, I missed it. I've been getting
for October.
Okay, but when will that be due if the lecture is not going to be until, or the discussion is not
the
going to
lecture is next week.
Okay.
So
Never mind.
And it'll be for October, yeah.
All right. Manuel, I just sent Manuel a reminder and he's going to be joining tonight, so you should have a new member.
Tony just came in, and Karen says iPhone, not Karen today. Okay. All right. Any other comments from anybody else? Any questions about anything? Don't forget our Christmas end of year party and award ceremony is on December the 8th, which is a Sunday. We will be putting out more information about that later on. Just want to make sure you have it on your calendar. Okay, I've got I'm going to do the slideshow for the Peer and Beer. So give me 1 second and I will get that up here. I'm going to do other thing here real quick before I forget about it. Where are you, Robert? Give Robert a co-host. All right, Robert, you're a co-host now. And I am going to share my screen. And all this stuff and share. All right, can you see my black screen here?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, this is the Peer and Beer slideshow. You're coming.
Recording in progress.
dokey, there it is. Oops,
Just some great images.
I lost y'all. Where are you?
You could tell that ICM was on people's mind.
Yeah,
And it's some nice shots you just had there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Where'd you shoot that?
Hmm?
And that bridge shot was nice. Where'd you shoot that?
What?
I said, a bridge shot was nice. Where did you shoot that?
Bridge shot.
Which shot? I don't know what you're talking about.
The last shot that appeared right after the slideshow, which was taken in Charleston.
Oh,
I said the beer shot. I mean, the pier shot was, the bridge shot was nice.
the bridge shot. There's no bridge. It was beer.
No, there was a bridge shot at the
It was a
end.
bridge at the very end.
One of your shots from Charleston, Lynn. One of your shots from Charleston.
Oh, you're looking at that in here. Oh, you're looking at my Lightroom. Okay. Okay. Let's do that in a minute. Okay, Robert, are you ready to do your
It
slideshow?
takes you a minute, man. I swear.
I didn't see it because I'm trying to move things around.
All right. Well, here we go. Can you all hear me?
Hear you, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get a drink first. Share desktop 1.
Lynn, I think Manuel joined and there was another new person that joined in the meeting. Oh my God. Scary baby.
Hear me. Hi, Manuel. Welcome. Looks like Helga's in here too. Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
I do not like babies. So, but every now and then I'm asked to photograph them.
Are they
I
too cute
also
for you?
do photograph people in a fashionable way as well. At parades, I look for things that are happening around me, pop on the 600mm lens and fire away. A designer came to me and wanted me to photograph her line that she designed. Met this guy at an art show and said, look, I really need you to come back to the studio. I need to make the photograph of this outfit that you have. And he did.
Yeah, it's a great shot.
I love to tell jokes and it shows.
No, that's not what I'm seeing on his face.
I was in Colorado photographing one assignment. This guy races cars, and I said, "Can you go around the road a couple of times for me?" And he did.
Cool.
My father-in-law got his dream home before he died. He wanted a place that had a pool and a lot of land. You all remember Dr. Carl Hahn, kept coming in the studio early, so I told him to come early one day and I'd make a portrait of him.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Who was that? Who was that,
Robert?
Carl Hahn used to be a member.
Oh,
Stunning.
Mike Stevenson, you guys remember him? He wanted to
Oh,
do
yeah.
a composite class. And in that composite class, I said, why don't we just photograph you and composite the image?
He's Mr.
But,
Kentucky now.
student teachers came from Spain and for Kim, and I brought him in the studio and started firing away. The Marriott in Atlanta was redesigning a brochure, and I was the hired to do their photography.
Cool.
Was that man posed there or did you bring him in? I mean, was he just happening to be there?
I don't think he heard you.
Okay, never mind. I
This
totally
young lady
forget.
was going for a contest that dealt with music, and so I wanted to do a portrait of her, imagining her music. She plays piano. This guy was ousted from the church, and this was his last sermon.
He was ousted?
He was
That's like a
ousted?
whole new
Yeah, he
other
thought he'd be
story.
there for a while, but he wasn't. This is a 16 frame pano.
Huh.
I like shooting panos.
I like that shot. Is that one a pano too, Robert? Or did that just
No, it's just getting people to do
John.
things when they see you with a camera.
Just the one time he shot birds.
I see him in Portland, Maine. Out west.
Minimalism, guys, minimalism.
One of the few shots I've done with the camera club on a board retreat.
Where was that?
Maine.
Out with a student who said that there was nothing to photograph, and then I photographed this and told him,
Look at those clouds.
Tell him
Wow.
to sell his camera.
early in the morning in Montgomery, Alabama, at the Capitol, in the middle of the street with no one around.
COVID.
This is the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, but not the one for Martin Luther King. His is across the street. Wanted to combine the moon, the stars, and the pano. This is a 10 shot pano.
I don't see the moon.
The right hand
This is
side.
part of my 55 and up series, meaning that I was driving in the car going 55 or greater. In this case, I was doing about 70.
Wait, go back to that one. Oh,
I think it's a slideshow.
I tell you, can't go
Yeah.
back.
was that shot with a camera or your phone?
Yay. Let's see. Stop sharing.
Robert,
Okay, there you go.
Robert, the
Very
one in
nice.
your car, was that shot with your camera or with your phone when you were traveling 70 miles an hour?
Kim was driving and I was shooting outside
Oh,
the
okay.
window.
All right. You need to
They
stay.
were fast.
Yeah, so the idea behind it is to be able to say that you are preparing your camera for what you don't know is coming next.
Very nice.
Nice. What would the shutter speed have been at that?
Yay, thank you.
2,000, 3,000.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
But you don't know what's coming next, so you
Right.
kind of do it.
Yeah, your camera sitting in your camera bag in the car is not going to help you with that.
No.
Why I usually have my camera on my lap if I'm not driving. And it's in the next to me. It's next to me if I am driving, so that if I stop, I can pull it out and shoot right off the bat. I did that got mountain goats in Nevada because I had my camera sitting right next to me because they ran away as soon as after I took a picture. So be ready. Gotta be
This
ready.
probably wasn't the seat, it's probably the cup holder.
Yeah, yeah. Won't fit in there. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with our exhibit and comments. Now you get to see you see the bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's the bridge in Charleston, guys.
Wow.
One of many images. Got a lot more to do. Okay, let's get started. The first one is under the pier. This one is Mark Wright's, and the score is 23.5. Go ahead. Diana was the third judge, so Diana and Robert, you're on deck, and I mean you're talk, and anybody else can make a comment if they like.
Robert, you go first.
Yeah, sure. Right, no problem. Who shot is this again?
Mark
This
Wright.
is mine. This is Mark.
Mark, did you move around or is this post-processing?
No, what happened with this one was my old camera the autofocus didn't work very good in low light. So I had zoomed in on part of the pier to focus and I forgot to zoom out. So I don't remember how long this shot is, but it's probably a 15, 20-second shot. And in the middle of it, I zoomed it out. So
that was the movement.
Yeah, that was a movement.
Okay,
so it was
great.
basically the zoom on the lens.
And the stars in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
all
long
that.
was
That's
this exposure?
Do what?
How long was this exposure?
I don't remember exactly, but it was, like I said, it was probably at least 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
very,
half
very
of it,
interesting photograph. It does meet the standards and requirements of ICM. Now that I know that you made the movement, the tunnel vision is taking me down the road, which is very, very nice.
yeah, this was just a happy little accident. I wasn't really, I was just taking pictures under the pier, and like I said, I just forgot to zoom out and decided to do it. So,
that.
Yeah.
Just remove those distracting pieces that were sticking in the top.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really like this, it just needed a little bit of help at the top. Robert, anything else?
Yeah.
No, this is do you shoot this sort of stuff on a regular basis?
I haven't done it in a while, but I used to do quite a bit of night shots and stuff and out on the beach and things like that when I lived in Pensacola.
Well, Mark, you're here now, so let's do some more of this.
Yeah, you're good at it. Even if it's an accident, try to recreate the accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. And stuff.
Okay.
So
moving on to the next one is Windows of Light. This one is Jim McWilliams, and the score is 24.1.
Let me preface something before we go any further.
Yep.
ICM is not graded in the sense of whether it is good or bad. ICMs generally are impactful or subdued. And you'll see that in the subsequent scoring here, or the what's given here is based on more of impact rather than technique.
Right.
So I just want to point that out. If you bother to focus prior to your movement, you will get a bit more attention to the image than if you just photographed it without focusing. So I just want to preface that in the beginning.
It's all very subjective too.
That's what made it really hard.
3 different judges, they would give us 3 different scores as well. So it's it's very kind of all over the place. So that's the nature of this particular kind of technique. So yeah, this one is Jim's, and the score is 24.1. Go ahead.
The drawing me into that photograph right down the middle there, Jim. I just wish you had just lit that little photograph all the way at the end, the one on the right of that.
This one?
Oh yeah,
the one right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end, right in the middle. It's slightly to the right of where you are.
This?
No, to the right.
Oh, at the end.
I'm sorry.
In between the 2 panels right there.
Blue ones? Or this one down here?
There's a photograph at the end.
Okay.
A frame.
mm-hmm.
No, I see it. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Right. by illuminating that,
about that
yes,
right
Yeah.
by illuminating that, that would take me straight to the
Center.
heart of everything, and all of the other pieces of movement would bring me to that spot.
Yeah.
You can see that down there.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
good
either.
eye.
Good
Yeah,
eye.
there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
I
that.
see it now.
The only eagle eye would have seen that. Eagle eyes. I'm sure Jim saw it too. All right, on to the next one. The next one is Wave. This one is Lee wins and the score is 23.5. Go ahead, Robert.
Oh, okay. I want this, gosh, I want this to turn just slightly about 30 degrees counterclockwise. The other way.
Let's see. Like this?
Yes. The reason why is I don't particularly care for images that start on the left-hand side and then go down into the ground. I want it to flow through the imagery. I mean, from one side to the other, which gives it more of a movement instead of a dive.
So you see what he's talking about, guys? Okay, let's look at the difference. This to this.
Yeah.
Hard to tell without the whole thing, but yeah.
I always try to do diagonal, so I guess it's different there.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch Stephanie's presentation, she moves things around quite a bit from where she started. She may do something like this and do something like, basically they're fairly even, but she turns things around all over the place with it. Yeah.
所以亮的要放在上面。
Yeah, this flows. Now, when you turn it like that, that flows rather nicely.
Yeah.
It gives a whole different feel to it.
Okay.
Yeah, from this to this.
Yeah, Lee Wen, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Are those northern lights?
Actually, I
or
would
what was that?
turn different direction. Well, original one was another direction, but yeah, I see what your point. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want it going downhill from
Like
there. That's exactly where it's going downhill.
I mean, diagonals are a good thing, except when you're looking for flow, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Mhm.
Right, next one is tie flow. This
Now,
one.
this one flows
one's-
upward.
This
and
one's
it's got-
mine, and it's the score is 23.6.
This is Maureen's.
No, that's mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one flows upward. It's got some nice separation in it with the darks and the lights and the nice hues of the greens. It's working for me.
I
Your
like
thoughts,
the color
Diane?
too. I like the color palette too.
Yeah.
This is a tie plant, and so it's a very short ICM. I do a lot of plant ICMs, and you have to do very short strokes to get, the leaves, and it still have some leaf shape. That's what I'm trying to do with these. It's still-
Yeah, I like that it had a little bit of definition to it too. As I said, this was a tough one. I mean, I'm glad I talked to you because it was like, how do I grade this? I mean, is it just I like it or I don't like it, basically?
With this, that is exactly what, if it's impactful to you, then that's what it's all about. So.
I'll just tell everyone, Les, do not jump in my case. I tell you, I never grade something on whether I like it or dislike it.
Yeah, you say that all the time, but I've heard you say it.
Yes.
Robert, how would I be able to do this on technique? I mean, everybody has their own different technique. So
Well, it's not technique. It's more about, first of all, on every photograph, every image that comes through, you have a lightness and darkness. Is it overexposed or underexposed?
Right.
Does it have a color contrast in there, enough to separate the tonalities or the tones and the color palette and contrast, or the tones? That's one of the reasons why I talk about deep blacks. If you have blacks that are muddy, that are blocked up, or whites that are over and they don't have any separation, you'll find me dinging for that.
Okay.
Then lastly, impact. is it a wow factor or is it a subdue factor? It does not always have to be a wow thing. It can be a subdued thing. And if it is subdued, does it flow with the color palette? And
Right.
those are the things you look for. But I would never grade something on whether I like it or dislike it.
I can see that as a piece of clothing, the colors and stuff.
Yes.
Okay, this one is, oops, I got the name. For Reflections in the Pond. And this is Rod's, and the score is 24.8.
Rod, is Rod here?
I don't think so.
Rod is not here.
This is awesome.
Rod, you need to know that this has impact. If you review this, this has total impact. So then from the impact come the soft palette of colors, the darker greens to the lighter shades of green that are going into the yellows, the reds that are holding it together, and then behind that, the depth of the dark greens that are separating all of these different what do you call it? Different foreground, middle ground, background. What do you call that? Whatever you call it, it's separated out very nicely. So, Rod, I'm jealous.
Thirds.
Next one is Garden Plaid. This one is one of mine, and the score is 23.3.
Now, this is what I love about this. You have given us in the last shot something of great grace and movement. And this one, all I see is Christmas.
All I see is plaid.
And that's what I mentioned about the movement. There's not enough here, not enough depth here on this particular shot.
Okay.
Is this a double exposure?
Yes. One going diagonally from top to bottom, and then I turned the camera around and went from the opposite side. So it's basically at 45-degree angles. So
yeah.
I think, Lynn, if you would just do me one small favor, because it's a bit too even for me. Crop into
The right side.
and get that dark out of there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep, that's exactly that was the only thing that bothered me, Lynn, was that right side. It didn't add to the photo. This is so much more compelling to me.
okay.
So then speak up next time.
I did.
Other than it looks more like a plaid.
Impressions of Spring, and this one is Jan's, and the score is 23.4.
Jan, tell me about this image.
Well, it was taken in the backyard, and it was in May, and I did it in a couple of different directions, and I just like the impressionistic look to it.
The composition on this with the main stalk being very dominant with the branches going off to the right. All right, that sets your composition right there.
Okay.
Your movement is round. Did you rotate this around in a circular manner?
I think it was like it wasn't a round, but I think I arched it. I arched the camera. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in this case, it works because of the main stalk or branch. So it's working for you.
Okay. Thanks. All right.
Looks like a painting.
Yeah, it does.
That's one of the cool things about ICM that does make it look impressionistic. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I use the dark blend for this one.
it's obvious, yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to bring that out, because otherwise the clouds in the background probably would have washed, would have taken over.
That's one of those things, guys, that you can, when you're doing a multiple exposure with your camera, there is on the multiple exposure menu in most cameras, if not all of them, there is a place that's called the blend modes. And if you can get a totally different look if you use the darken blend mode versus the lighten blend mode or the average blend mode. So that's when you're playing with this stuff, try different blend modes, because you'll be surprised that you'll be shooting exactly the same thing and you'll get totally different impressionistic looking images. So it's one of those.
And the other thing I noticed after the fact was, remember Stephanie was telling us about some of those color artifacts you get, whether you're doing the bright or the dark blend, and like in the lower left-hand corner, you're gonna get that funny looking green in there, and I think above that, I don't think, that right in there.
Yeah, it because it's combining these things, and it's basically kind of, oh, well, let's take this, let's take that, let's eliminate this, eliminate that, and we're going to add this in, and it just, but to me, it makes it so much more interesting because you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm enjoying it, but I don't find myself to be very consistent yet. It's sort of
ICM is never consistent, so you're never going to get there.
Consistent at all.
Okay, that's good. I feel better.
Yeah, it is not consistent. Okay, next one is Amazing Structure. This is Lee Wins, and the score is 25.3.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right, Lee Win, start talking to me about this one.
That was the last outing we did.
I know where it was. Tell me about your technique. Nobody cares about where it was.
So I think I did. I'm trying to remember what I did. I think I moved the vertical, and I don't remember I moved the sideway.
You think is it a double exposure or single?
I was a single. I didn't do double, but I was trying to think of how did I think I moved it vertically.
Yeah, I mean that building, everything is going every which way, so it's kind of hard to tell which. I think it looks like just one straight down vertical. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do the double.
It technically doesn't look like that because of all the lines going every which way, but that's the way the building goes.
Yeah.
Some of them are going this way, some are going, they're at different angles. So
yeah,
the color is what makes this, I think.
Yeah,
the color totally makes this. So yes.
Well, and something that to me, what I really liked about it was that you took something that was so symmetrical. I was there in person. It was so symmetrical, and you kind of flipped it on its side, completely by causing it to be, intentional with the intentional camera movement.
Mm-hmm.
It's you anyway.
Yeah, she made something that's very rigid look soft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Soft.
I was just practicing the day. I think right before.
What was the score on that one, Lynn?
25.3.
25.3?
Yeah. Next one is Spinning Out.
Good.
This one is Susan's, and the score is 23.6.
Is Susan here?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay, just a little more. Give me a little bit more contrast in this photograph, and boost my colors just a little bit. And I'll need some darkness, and I'll need some blacks to go in there. Yes. Yes. Okay, top letter F. Whoa, wait a minute. Okay, yeah.
Just showing the difference. There's the beginning,
Okay.
the end.
Yeah.
It was very flat to me. Is that
Lynn,
okay with you?
Can you take the information out so that we could see the whole picture?
Just type letter F.
F.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
So do we see the depth change?
Yeah.
Anybody's?
Yep.
You see some depth, and and that's one of the things with ICM. It has a tendency to be a bit flat, so you do need to use your contrast, and you need to use the blacks to give you a little more depth into this, because technically it looks flat, but it's actually giving you a lot of depth. That's one of the things about the darkened blend mode. Actually, if you're doing multiple exposures, it gives you more depth. So.
Now, I'll tell you, if you're running one single color, then the main color here is the yellow, the orange. Boost the colors.
Yeah.
Boost them. Don't be afraid to boost them.
I did that up here in the calibration. This is Robert's favorite panel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we started off with this, and we ended up with this. So it's not a huge difference.
It makes it more 3D.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
When you start adding contrast, it makes things look more depth. It gives it more depth.
Now I am curious what and how.
Next
That
one,
last one.
fishing hooks. This
What you mean the last? Victoria, you mentioned what and how and what.
The last one. What is it, and and how did you do it?
It's
Well,
Chihuly.
it's definitely a circular motion.
Oh, yeah, but is it three different motions? I mean, three different. Is it three different photos put together, or is it?
It looks to me to be one.
Susan?
It's one photo.
Uh-huh.
Sorry about the noise. It's one photo, and I just kept moving the camera around, and I think it just, it just delayed.
It's a
as far as-
2 second,
Okay.
2 second
20
exposure.
Oh, okay, I see it.
It
2
moved it
seconds.
again. Yeah, all in one exposure.
Now those are highlights from the lights in the museum that are shining on the shiny object that's being photographed.
I just like so many circles. I just like I could see you just spinning the camera.
Yeah.
But now it's
Anyway.
those are the different highlights that are actually on the
Okay.
Item.
Glass. It's all
Just made me
glass.
curious. I was just curious. Thank you.
This one is called fishing hooks. This one is Leslie's, and the score is 23.6.
Leslie, the problem I have with this photograph, it's a beautiful photograph. It really is. It's very impactful. Very impactful. The problem I have with this is the noise transition. Meaning I have lots of noise at the bottom, but
the right
not
bottom?
so much noise at the top.
Here.
So if you're going to do that, if you're going to have noise, let it be consistent throughout.
But there is noise here. If you're looking at this, there is some up here and some in here as well. I mean, it's not everywhere.
I think it must just be the plate or whatever that was, because I didn't change the noise up in areas or whatever.
Now, I'm saying that it's not that you changed anything. I want to know if it was underexposed. Was it dark to begin with?
It was 0.4 seconds, which is a pretty short span for a ICM.
Now, my question is that it's not that. If I ran this through denoise, it would then be smooth throughout. So what I'm getting at is that in the bottom half, I have a bit more noise than I do in the top half. That's apparent.
So you're saying I should have run it through the noise filter?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Your palettes are working for you. The light and the fishhook title you gave it is working for you. The noise is working against you.
Okay.
Next one is Kaleidoscope. This one is Sylvia's, and the score is 24.3.
Mark.
Why are you asking Mark? It's a Sylvia's.
I know it's Sylvia. Mark.
Yes.
Tell me what you see here.
I see the balls that were in the boat at the Chihuly.
Do you not see a pattern?
Yeah.
I like the lines, the way the lines go through that and stuff. So, but a lot of this is a little too abstract for my very logical mind. So.
And that's one of the reasons I pointed out that the pattern, there is a pattern here. There's a definite pattern. And that pattern is very much defined, and is defined in a logical manner.
Yeah.
So take a look at the pattern first, which defines it, and then the background or the next depth becomes the abstract.
Yeah.
So yes, Sylvia.
Yes.
You've stumped even the logic of the logical.
this is a double exposure, right?
Yeah, it was two, yeah, it's two photos, and I did one scanning a little vertical and one scanning horizontal, and the light, the reflection of the lights, and then I, took the opacity down and it made the crosshatch looking from the reflection of the lights. So I thought it looked kind of cool.
Yeah,
It
it
does. It does.
You stumped the logical guy in here.
All right, next one is intentional Chihuly movement composite. This one is Jim McWilliams, and the score is 23.5. Same spot, something totally different.
Huh. That's wild.
Well, we're a little hot on this one.
Yeah, a little bright.
If you pull the highlights down, yeah. And I would add more black to it too, just like you did with that other shot.
Ah,
I'm sorry. The title took all my energy on this one.
I kind of like, you know what I would do?
I would, yep.
Stuff on the bottom.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. I kind of like that bottom. I like the bottom.
I don't like the ball there, but I didn't know where to look. I mean, I love the colors. Like if we could have gotten just the bowl, that's my personal.
Oh, and by the way, Jim, you've got a spot on your
Uh-oh.
on your
I thought I cleaned them up, but
it's the glass, Jim.
yes,
like
the
I
glass.
said,
Yeah, these
I
kind
said,
of
the
remind
titles
me.
of
These
everything
kind
I
of remind
hate.
me of sperm, and they're going for the eggs.
Oh my God, Lynn.
I don't know. My mind is weird.
I really, Lynn, want to take you out to dinner after that one.
No, you don't. You went out to dinner with me over the weekend.
Now that you say that.
Yeah.
And just FYI, when you do ICM, this is a perfect way to find out that you have spots on your sensor because of the long exposure. Those spots are going to go. So when you do ICM, you're going to find out whether you have spots on your sensor or not. Anything else, Robert?
No, I'm doing one last thing.
Okay.
Grab a brush, paint the bottom half, and just bring up the shadows a little bit. And not in the black area, but that in the bottom, very bottom where those balls are. Yes.
Where the sperm.
Where the sperm are.
And now bring up the shadows. That's it.
Yeah, this, remember, this is on a reflective surface.
Yeah.
Right.
So this whole thing here is all glass. Whoops. Okay.
If people didn't go to the museum and see this without what we've done to it, it would be a little bit harder to, kind of understand. Like, I'm glad that I was on this assignment to judge it because I know what it looked like before we messed up with it.
Yeah.
Hey.
No, we actually
Not
improved
you.
it.
I'm just saying, you weren't the only one that put a Chihuly shot in. There were a lot of them. But it was nice to see the before and the after. I would never critique. I mean, who the heck am I to critique somebody's pictures? I'm still learning.
Okay, next one is jumping note. And this one is Fong's, and the score is 22.8.
Fong, you need to focus.
Huh?
You didn't focus.
You focus on something and then move it.
Yeah, if you look at the white lines, they will tell you whether or not you focused.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to first you focus, then you move it. And
that's
so
what I mean by the principles of photography still apply.
I didn't get it. So focal where is better?
Focus on your subject, on the thing that you're photographing.
Like you're not going to move the camera. You're going to have a just solid picture.
Yeah, like focus and then move it.
Focus and move it. Okay, got it.
Then move it. Yeah. It sounds crazy because you're moving the camera, going to be out of focus, but
okay,
the line's more focused. All right, next one is Purple Haze. This one is Mark's, and the score is 23.2.
Mark,
Yeah.
you didn't do so well on this one.
Like I said, this one was at the Chihuly, and honestly, I don't even remember taking it, but it was on my camera when we got back.
And Mark,
And honestly, this is the of the ICMs that I took that day. This is the only one that really kind of I liked it for some reason. I don't know why. And like I said, it's not really part of. It's way too abstract for my logical mind.
and I will tell you, when you made a mistake on that other one, you need to start making the mistakes more when you do this sort of thing. Because
Yeah.
when you do it intentionally, it ain't there, sir.
Yeah, it's a little bit too just limp. Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep
You're
giving
good,
me
Jared.
the
You
other
just have
stuff.
to, Mark, even those logical brains have to play. This is all about
Well, like I said, of the ICMs that I tried doing that day, then this one, I don't know, something about it that just kind of
well,
jumped out.
you have a nice like line here and a line. I mean, there's a basis here. You're heading in the right direction, so it's just not one big bunch of color. So
Yeah.
you've got some lines and movement. I think you just need to make your movements a little more flowy.
Yeah.
And you compose the shot first.
Yeah.
It's not just movement. You compose it.
Yeah.
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 So we don't throw stuff. We don't throw our general principles out the window and just start flowing.
Yeah. Just
because the first one you did with the bridge, you actually composed the shot.
Yeah, that one I was, intentionally was focused on the bridge, and so that one, it came out great. And like I said,
Yes.
it wasn't exactly planned, but now, the focus down the line of the pier, that was planned, and it just happened that when I did change the zoom, then it
yeah. So Mark, when you're like everything to be nice and linear, so what you could do is you do more zooms, zoom in and zoom out, and you'll get really cool things and have those lines that you like. Because it doesn't always have to be curvy. It can be just zoomies. So
yeah.
That is ICM as well. So maybe that's
I did some, I did a few.
Concentrate on that for a while too. It's really hard to get used to not having pictures that are perfect or as perfect as you can get. And out of focus we work so hard to get things in focus and everything looking just so that when we don't do it, it's really hard. And you have to take a lot of them to get ones that are, that are good. I mean, and then that's a, quote unquote good,
Yeah.
And
usually I like my pictures. I want my picture so sharp you cut your finger on it if you're not careful.
And that's why this is actually a good exercise, because every once in a while your brain needs to do something different.
Yeah.
And you become a better photographer the more of this play that you do. It's called combinatory play, and you go do something totally. Well, this is something different in photography. A combinatory play wants you to go out and do something even more different in play. But this is you should see us when we get going on this stuff. We look like a bunch of goofballs running around going with a camera, and people think we're nuts, but we're having a blast. And you may take 100, 150 of these, and you may have 2 out of them that are actually something you like. But that's the whole point, is you go out there and have some fun. So it's a good, especially if you get blocked, it's a great thing to go out and do. So, okay, next one is Flames. And this one is Susan's, and the score is 24.6. I'm loving this. Go ahead, Robert.
No, go ahead. Man. You said you're loving this. Tell me about the love on this.
I love anything red anyway. The only thing again with she needs a little more contrast in this, just a little bit more to set those.
Yep.
They set those blacks, just make what looks like flames just a little more apparent.
Yep. I would definitely.
It gives it more depth. So,
I really liked it a lot. But I'm a red. I love red. So
yeah, too.
Can you do a before and after?
I didn't do a whole lot. I mean, this is very minor. It's very,
Okay. Well, that,
very,
that
very
looks good.
minor. It's very minor. So that's before, that's after. It's just, it gives it a little more depth. Robert?
You took the words out of my mouth.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was going to say about it. But you seem to have fallen in love with it before I could say it. So I thought I'd, give the
Yeah,
floor
when I
to
saw
you.
this, I'm like, oh my God, why did I do it like that? I think Susan
I
has
need to
found,
know.
yeah, Susan has found her niche.
Well, I want to know what Susan thinks of this.
Susan.
Robert, I'd love to talk to you, but the airport's too noisy. I liked it, but I do agree with Lynn. She's right. I just need to make it a little more bold.
Yep.
The airport is not too noisy to hear your voice.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
As you can see, I'm playing this guy here.
Well, I've already changed gates. I've been carrying you down the dock.
All right. Well, thank you much.
Thanks.
So yeah, this one, I think Susan shoots with an iPhone, and that's it. She doesn't have a camera. So this is her, seems to be her forte. Anyway, next one is flower garden.
I'm gonna pipe in on this one. I
This
love
one,
it.
wait a minute. This one's rods, and this one is scores 25.3.
I love this one. It's one of my favorites.
Why?
Well, because you can identify the object for one thing, but at the same time, it makes it very fluid, very wavy. Like I pictured like this giant wind coming across the sunflower fields. And I love sunflowers, so anything with a sunflower is going to get my attention. Sunflower and red. I really liked it.
I need a crop on this.
Okay.
On the top, from the top.
Actually, and Diana, these are black-eyed Susans, but okay, they look like
Okay, whatever. You're yellow.
Yeah. What do you want? Or
Yeah, come in bring the top down.
Yep. Yep.
Come in.
And on the side.
Go back up. Go back up. Go back up. Gonna come in toward the left. Keep coming. All right, good. You can go back out a little bit, but that's okay. Now come in from the left-hand side. Come up. About right in there, somewhere in there. I just want it to shower with nothing but just the yellow. Give me a letter F.
letter S. I did letter S.
Letter F.
F as in Frank.
F. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said S.
Yeah, no, F. So I
Yeah.
needed to move all the way through without stopping.
Yeah.
That's really pretty.
I mean, and there's ICM where you really can't tell what the subject is, and then there's ICM where you can. So there's a lot of, it's a very broad.
Yeah.
So from now on, if I submit blurry pictures for birds, they're going to be ICM birds.
Blurry pictures, no. If you have pictures with motion and that are sharp, yes.
All right. Next one is, oops, lost my place here. Okay, the next one is Golfer in Motion. And this one is Diana's, and the score is 24.3.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Diana, yes.
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 Nice, nice.
But isn't this really the subject moving and not the camera moving?
So
No,
background,
it was
The background.
both.
background.
both moved.
Yeah,
Everything's moving.
very nice, Diane. I like this.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Because
Yeah, that
people,
guy.
the ball looks like it's moving and it's not yet because he hasn't hit it yet. So the camera is, yeah, she is moving the camera, but the guy is swinging the club at the same time. So it's like,
Well, he looks like he's doing a wind up instead of a stroke down. So Diana, talk to us about this shot. This is a very impactful shot.
Thank you.
So here's your opportunity to wow the world. Let me know what's going on.
I don't know. I mean, I was wandering around trying to figure out what I was going to shoot, and I walked onto the golf course and thought, well, this guy is getting ready to do it. And there was a couple guys, and I couldn't get the timing right on the three other guys that I shot. There was one guy that was wearing this hilarious outfit that I really wanted to capture, but he was too fast for me.
Stay with this shot right here. Help me with this one.
Yeah, but I mean, I like the way the colors, kind of the background colors kind of matched the way his colors did it. I don't know. I mean, to me, it really implied motion.
Definitely.
And I assume you were going, he's coming to the front. Obviously, he's swinging towards the right, but you came from the right to the left. So you go like opposite motion.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Well, no, I went left. Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, you went from this side to that side, and he was swinging this way. So that's why it looks.
Yes, I went from left to right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is a winner.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the next one is Sunset Reflections. And this one is also Diana's, and the score is 23.2.
Oof.
Diana, I'm going to ask Lynn. I'm going to ask you to crop this image
from the bottom.
Crop, not from the bottom. Now leave the bottom. Top down.
Top down.
Top down. Give me, yeah, right there. Go back up. Go back up just slightly. You got proof turned on somewhere.
I didn't do it. I don't know why it turned.
Maybe when you pressed S before, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. What else?
All right, go back up on the top. Go up on the top. Just to when you just touch that yellow, come back down. Come back down to just back. Yes, right there.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you got proof turned on somewhere. All right. So hit enter and or return. Tap letter F for me.
F as in Frank.
Yes. Now we're talking. You gave me way too much of that orange on top, which means that I don't get to see what's happening on the bottom.
Okay.
You got the trees reflected, you got double reflections, you got the blues and the oranges working against each other. So this is much more successful a composition than the one you had before.
This was, yeah. There's too much at the top. Yeah.
Lynn, are you on Windows or Mac?
Sorry?
Lynn, are you on Windows or Mac? Command Y will turn off soft proofing.
I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, here, just click on that. That helps.
Yeah, I like the crop too, Robert. I didn't know how much to, put in, and especially since all of that wasn't reflected in the water. So.
The water itself becomes the ICM.
Right.
Yeah.
This is all moving. Next one is Moonlight Calligraphy. This one is Kathy's, and the score is 23.8. Kathy, is this a multiple exposure or a single?
It's a single and intentional camera movement. It's the moon, the full moon in August coming over.
Hey, Jack, what are your thoughts about this one?
My thoughts?
No, Jack's.
Oh.
Jack, paying attention?
Yes, I had to unmute. It takes me a while to get a little hand-eye coordination.
Said from a surgeon.
I've seen,
From
yeah.
surgeon, oh my God.
But I see a lot of action, a lot of movement. It resembles a forest fire.
Yeah.
And I see in it what could be a forest fire. I can't overcome that image that I'm seeing, but it's full of action. And it's got a lot of contrast, which is one of the key marks of a good intentional movement photograph. So it's got a lot of contrast, and it's got a lot of movement in it. I think it's well balanced. It's well based at the bottom, and it's a good example of intentional camera movement.
All right.
I see a
To use your
person.
words, it's to use your words. It's
Guy right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where is the moon though? I'm confused as to the moon.
Well, it's very, very big and very bright because it's full moon.
It was was that the day of the orange moon?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it wasn't fully visible because these clouds were
Yeah,
all
yeah. I
around.
shot that night too. It was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would never have thought to do an ICM of a moonshot. I think it's a great idea.
And I had others where I had moved it around and they looked more like letters, but I like this fire business here. It made the trees look like they were on fire. So I played with them. They were fun.
Robert?
Yeah, no, we're complete. We're good on this one.
Okay. Next one is Mountain Trail. This one is also Kathy's, and the score is 24.9.
Kathy. You've done it again.
Yeah, this one's, I think, even better.
Yeah.
You've done it again.
This was the moon the next morning. And it too was behind the clouds, but it was just
Kathy, where do you live?
in Brooksville on a hill.
On a hill?
Uh-huh.
And do you have neighbors close by?
Not really.
Oh, that way you can always shoot the moon then.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Robert.
There's really no mountain there. Just the way
We'll
the
be here all
clouds
week, folks.
Yeah, I like the combination of colors.
I like the color palette. That was
Yeah.
With the darkness, yeah.
Yeah.
The pastels.
Looks
Yeah.
like a watercolor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It
And
does.
I mean, that's one of those things that you can, if you get the right combination of colors and the right flow, then that's one of the things that ICM does do is it kind of blends everything together so that, you can take it actually a scene that's pretty normal and yucky and make it into something gorgeous by doing a ICM. So it's if you can't make a picture any other way, do it ICM. And you might be surprised you'll have something good. So,
well, Kathy,
Yeah.
this is excuse me, hold up.
I'm sorry, what?
This should be made into a 30 by 40.
yeah, this is definitely a print.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Except for the spot right here.
What? Oh,
That's
a
a
teeny
spot right
tiny
there.
little spot.
Yeah, there's a spot. So
get rid of that.
again, these ICMs will show you if you have spots on your sensor. So I'm almost expect them to be there. So I'm always looking at them very closely just because
Yeah, I guess
I
I
know
just
they're going to
didn't
show
look
up.
close enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next one is Butterfly Kong. This one is Brian's, and the score is 22.2.
Okay, Brian, I want you to grab hold of your chair because you're not going to get the high mark you thought. You would have had you left this butterfly out of there.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, he should
Wow.
just out. Yeah, because it was a really good picture, a good
Yeah.
ICM without that. I mean, it
Absolutely.
doesn't even belong there. What is the butterfly doing over a boat?
Well, I was just trying to combine multiple exposures with intentional camera movement. So really, so
Doesn't fit in the
I thought I was adding something to the photo. I don't know anything about intentional camera. You're saying just by itself, without the
Yes.
butterfly, it's a good
This is
shot.
good.
Yes. Yes.
This is really good.
Yeah. It's a really good shot. Before the butterfly.
Forget about the butterfly.
Yeah.
I started
Very
this off by
gimmicky with the
saying
butterfly.
I started this off by saying that all of the traditional manners of photography still stand: composition, light and dark,
Yep.
subject interest. All of that stuff still stands. The only difference is that you have movement. And when you stick this butterfly in there, I'm going, I just want to flick it off.
Yes. Yes.
Well, obviously, that's pretty easy. I mean, it'd be a lot easier for me to produce what you're asking for than,
Is that what you did?
yeah.
No butterfly.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, butterfly.
Because the movement, the movement was so good on it. You got the water is just gorgeous. The boats are lovely. Even everything, and then this butterfly is there, and I'm like, what is it doing?
Voila.
Yeah.
Now that's good. Now that's an ICM.
That's an
Okay,
ICM shot.
So Robert, I heard from Diana. So why is this good? So I understand, because I don't understand. I would have been a terrible judge on this there.
Well, all right. Here's the thing. I'd like for you to bring up the highlights on this one. I'll bring them up. I want them to come up.
Oh, okay. You want me?
Yeah, I want it a little bit brighter.
Yeah.
All right. I want the exposure. I'm sorry, the blacks to go down just a little bit. Yeah, just tiny, not that much as a whole bunch. And bring the exposure. Actually, we're gonna need to bring the exposure up just a tiny bit. Okay, now bring the highlights back down. I'm countering.
What wouldn't you bring the contrast up a little, Robert?
Not yet, not yet. All right.
Okay.
Now, all right. So we bring the boat up now. Now you have an actual composition. You have the first thing we're landing on is that boat. All right, you see that boat right there.
Yeah.
What's countering that boat is the whiteness of the clouds going left and right out. So they are pointing right down to that boat, and everything else is motion and movement.
Right.
So even though you may love Jim, please believe me when I say that if I say you got a decent shot, you got a decent shot.
Yeah. This is good. This is really good. Without the
I didn't understand what Jim had to do with any of that. What you
Because
just.
I'm jealous that you hang around him so much and don't hang around me.
Well, when I hang around you, you don't say much to me. That's
because I'm in awe of you.
All right, boys. Enough. Okay, moving on to the next one. This one is sailboats. And this one is Lee's, and the score is 24.3.
Yes, Lee.
This is where it's basically the same, not exactly the same, but you went across, Brian, and Lee went either up or I think he went down on this one. Lee, did you go up or down? You remember?
Probably a little bit of both.
And he processed it so that the highlights are there and the top and bottom are held together by the darkness.
Yeah. And then these pilings, actually, I think I really like the pilings too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of counterbalance.
You get the buildings and the masts. Yeah.
All right, Richard. Richard, this is outside of your nature. Talk to me, Richard.
Is Richard here?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
Yeah, what was the question, Robert?
I said this one's outside of your nature, but talk to me. How do you feel about this?
I like it. I like its single direction, that the movement is up and down. That's about it.
This is one they would print and put in the doctor's office.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'd put it in an insane asylum.
Really?
To keep them sane or to make them insaner.
Well, it would certainly keep them there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a
But
lot to look at here.
Yeah, looking at it.
They could read into it whatever they wanted.
Yeah, Lee, you've done a wonderful job on this one.
Thank you, Robert.
I'd ask you to do one small thing for me.
What?
One tiny little small thing. And can anybody spot it on the left-hand side?
On the left-hand side.
Oh yeah, there's a
Edge.
space at the building.
Yes.
Here,
Yeah, I see it. The
Yeah.
white.
Yes.
the little white line, guys. Check your edges.
So if you look at the right-hand side, there's no white.
No white over
You
here.
look at the left-hand side, that means that Lee, as great as you are, at the end, we don't pay attention to those details.
It's the Curtis effect.
Yes, absolutely the Curtis effect.
What's the Curtis effect?
Curtis always had these beautiful images, and he always left some little thing in there, and it wasn't on purpose, because he'd get so excited about the picture that he would leave a spot or an edgy something sticking on the edges or something, right, Robert? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's exactly it. Now you see how this image is now it's now enclosed.
Yep. Yeah. It's a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Next one is reset. Next one is behind the fence.
All right, Lourdes, I need
Wait a minute, the score is 22.7.
Lourdes, I need you to unmute yourself. Are you there? Lourdes,
I'm here.
Lourdes, this is way too personal. This photograph is way too personal.
Uh-huh.
And here's why. That your subject is looking at you as opposed to once you have a person looking directly at you, it becomes about the person.
Okay.
All right, do you see where I'm going with that?
Not at all, but you know better.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the last thing you said.
I said not at all, but you know better than I do, so I'm still
Well,
learning.
I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to understand what I'm saying.
Well, I okay.
And I'm not being flippant. If your subject was turned the other way, just walking along, it would be more about the movement. But because the person has stopped and looked at you, then it becomes about the person. And then I have to say, what is the effect about? I mean, why that particular effect?
So you mean he should have been more blurry?
Not that he would have been blurry. It's not about him being blurry. It's about him continuing on in the photograph, not stopping to look.
It's like there's an interaction going on.
Yes.
That's exactly the reason that my feedback said that was a good one, but it's okay. I'm still learning.
Okay, hey,
His mic is on, Lynn. Can you tell?
I can't tell. Everybody, you guys, you need to, if you're, I think if it's Susan, it sounds like it might be, it's either Susan or Jack, I would think. They're usually muted though. It's quiet now. All right.
Susan's not there anymore.
That's all on that one, Robert?
Yeah.
Okay, next one is bike ride in motion. This one is also Lourdes. Yes.
Way more successful.
24.8.
Same concept. The exact same concept, except it's about the motion and movement, not the interaction between the subject and the photographer.
I really like this one a lot.
Okay.
Do you see the difference, Lourdes, between the other one where you could actually see Lisa?
I totally see it.
Yeah.
Totally see it.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference in this one between the two.
Because the person was looking at you, you stopped the motion.
Right.
In the last one. But because the person is not looking at you, the motion actually continues.
I'm sorry, what was the punctuation for this one?
You're asking me?
I don't know, Lynn or whoever. I couldn't hear the number.
I'm not sure if what the question was.
No, she didn't hear what you said, Robert.
No. I said the how many points did I get
How
with
many
this?
points? Oh, okay. 24.8. Robert's too quick to comment, so he doesn't. Everybody, yeah, like I say the score and nobody can hear me. Yeah, it's 20.
Thank you. Okay.
Next one is downtown St. Pete. This one is Lee's, and the score is 24.2.
Okay, Lynn, just crop a little bit off the top. I'm a little overbalanced there.
How far?
A little bit more. That's good. That's good. Great. I was just a little overbalanced with the top. Your thoughts, Lee?
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, too much
That
sky.
left a little too much on the
guys,
top.
that the sky can be a little bit. You just because the sky's beautiful doesn't mean you need to have it all in your picture.
You know what I think's neat about this one is like the motion that you were doing makes the lights look like little sailboats on the left-hand side and just all over you, and you're on the water too.
I think it looked like a whole bunch of rocking chairs.
No, sailboats.
I just thought they
The
were all
letter B.
Or the letter B.
It's all your point of view.
What, Lynn, I'm curious. I forgot what what was the, how many seconds was this?
0.5.
Huh.
He's moving
Now,
quick.
I will tell you, Lee, that I'm gonna be up front about it. I did take off because of that lone one in the water.
Because of the lone one in the water, yeah, I see it.
There is no reason for that one to be there.
Yeah, that was a sailboat.
Get Phil out of the water from up here. Really? Yeah, right. Those sailboats, man, they jump all over the place. These do look like sailboats over here.
Don't they? They do.
The actual sailboat wasn't needed.
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
We have so many sailboats, we could lose this one, and it wouldn't be a bad
Yeah,
thing. And then
that's my only complaint in there, besides the sky.
all right, next one is Trumpet Blast. This one is Karen's, and the score is 24.
Make this into a vertical, please. Thank you.
Better.
Yes.
Yeah, Karen, you just had too much. A little bit too much there. Is Karen here? Karen's here.
Yep, I'm here.
How do you feel about that, Karen?
I like it.
Okay, very good. Look at your lines coming out of it. They're going upward.
Uh-huh.
And you were taking me sideways when all the lines were going. There's nothing over there for me.
Too much. Okay.
Yeah.
I keep advocating for a crop class.
You're getting one right now.
I know that, but we'd like to do it before we submit the pictures.
This one is Guitar Man. This one is also Karen's, and the score is 23.
Drop down from the top, take the guy's beard out of it.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yes. Just go back up to almost touching the beard. Yes, I just need a little bit more play there. And one more. Come in from the left. Yes. Yes. Now we're talking.
No, it's all about the motion. See the hands, right, Karen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You okay with that, Karen?
Yep.
You're easy.
The other thing I think this right here is a little bright. Yeah, that's the only other thing I was thinking on this one was
Yeah, bring the highlights down.
yeah, just white there. Makes it a little less.
The only thing I would say when you crop so much from the left, you lose his white cuff. I could see that it was his hand better before you crop that. Maybe that's just me, but the edge of
Well,
the
but
I can see his,
white cuff on the edge.
well, because I can see that that's his hand coming. So there's a little bit of the wrist. When you cropped it so far, there's just this. I mean, I know it's his hand, but just for me personally, I got more that it was actually the hand on the guitar because I can see his cuff of his sleeve. Maybe I'm being too literal, but
You know, I'm not gonna dispute how you see, but yes, you are too literal.
okay, thank you.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with being literal. All right.
I need to know one thing, and I'm being very serious, Sylvia.
Okay.
When you come to a stop sign, do you stop completely or do you kind of roll through it a little bit?
It depends. I roll through sometimes.
Right. So you can't tell me you're literal.
Okay. Just a picture.
All right, let's move on to the next one. This one is Lake Dunes. This one is Tories, and the score is 25.4.
Tori, get rid of my white border for me for a second.
Say again, Robert?
Get rid of the white border for me.
Oh, okay.
That is one of those things we all do it at one point in this, and every time we get said, do not put borders on things. Not for competition.
Now, Tori,
Yes.
I want you to go get your get your handkerchief for your tears.
Oh no. I can take it. I can take it, Robert.
This is a very joyful image.
Oh, this is gorgeous. Another one that can be printed.
Yes.
This was at the lake in Brooksville?
No, actually, this is a lake in my neighborhood, and I have two pictures from the same lake, and I really wanted to make it look like a painting, like you can actually see water and you can see grass and you can see hills. So it was intentional to try to get it to look like a painting.
You did
Pretty
a
much.
good job.
Was this on our trip, Tori?
No, this is my neighborhood right here where I live in Brandon.
It's beautiful. I loved it.
Just getting the
Thank
right
you.
light. The only thing I would say is this right here. See that brown spot?
You can crop that up because we can stand to lose a little bit off the bottom.
Just take a little bit off the bottom and get rid of that brown spot, and then it doesn't pull my eye, because anything dark like that's going to pull your eye right to it, and you don't want that to happen because you've got so much else going on here that
Okay.
interfering with it. Yeah, just get rid of that and you're good to go. Perfect.
So no frames.
No more borders.
No more borders.
No more borders.
Save you
Oh,
some
yes,
time.
Right? We've all been through that. This was Water's Edge. This one's also Tories, and the score is 23.7.
Yep, same lake.
I'm like, I like these little red things. Let's get rid of them again.
Yeah, they're like straws or plants right there by the water's edge. And it kind of has like a little bit, it looks like it has like reflections in the water. I thought that was pretty cool too.
Was your movement up?
Yes.
There's no data on this. Tell me why.
Oh. Are we supposed to put that on there?
Yeah, you're supposed
No, you don't have to. I was just wondering.
Well, we would prefer that you let the data come through so that we can see
Oh, okay.
your, you know, what your ISO was and your f-stop and all that good stuff. I mean, it's not
Right. Is that something that you actually write out yourself, or does it come?
No, it should, when you, it depends on how you're saving your images.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, no, that was
I just
in your metadata.
yeah, that was not intentional at all.
I'm like, I don't know about this bright up here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? I don't know. It's
It works for me too.
Isn't it just a
Who is our new person tonight?
What?
Who is our new person tonight? You said there's somebody visiting.
Manuel is
left. He left. He had to go off.
Okay.
Do you, Robert, do you think this is too bright at the top here?
No, bringing it down is really good. The reason why it's good is because you have a bottom heavy, so you don't need the top to be so bright to leave the page.
So I did increase the contrast just a tad, just to see what it. Oops, we started here and we end up here.
I would do even a linear gradient across the top.
Across the top, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. She's learning. She is learning Photoshop. I mean,
That's good. Just a little bit of highlights down, and I think that'll take care of it.
Hmm.
And that's one of those cool things you can do in Lightroom real easily.
Yeah.
Learn in Lightroom, and it does it. You know, it just makes a little bit of difference. It's not huge, but just enough that. Because remember, when things are super bright, your eye is going to go there, and it's going to take you away from all this wonderful stuff right here. And that's not what you want. You want people to be looking at this. You don't want them to be looking at the top of the picture, which is not
right.
Interesting. This is the interesting part. So.
And get blinded by the.
Yeah, and get blinded by the sky.
Overexposure.
So yeah,
I'd like to make a.
Things that as time goes by, you'll get it all. And you can see
If I could, Lynn, before you erase all that, Lynn,
there's a big difference there.
Before you erase all that, can I make a comment?
Sure.
I enjoyed the picture before you put those blue streaks and the dark streaks across the top. When you did that linear gradient, it put dark streaks across the sky. It was prettier or nicer, cleaner when it didn't have all that streaks. It was a great picture before. I don't like all the addition to it. I'm sorry, but I liked it the way she had it originally.
Thank you, Jack.
My wife says the same
you
thing.
really think it's that great to have all this brightness up here?
No, well, I don't know about the brightness, but I don't like all the streaks up there.
These streaks are already there. This is nothing. I haven't done nothing.
But it emphasized it even more.
Okay. Yeah, it did somewhat, yeah.
There. And the same thing with the blue, all the blue contrast. But anyway, that's my preference.
Now, Jack, you make an interesting point, and I don't know if anyone recognizes what you just brought out. Contrast adds saturation.
Yeah.
Okay.
In other words, Lynn, while the image is right where it is, get out of that mask, get out of the mask completely. Add contrast to the image.
You have already.
Add more. Why? You see how the blues get bluer?
Oh no, that's good.
No, that's not what I'm saying. My point is that when you do contrast, if you should also decrease the saturation. That is my point. So when you add contrast, it adds saturation.
Well, I mean,
and by the way, I'm here now. By the way,
Hello, Jim.
I'll throw something in on that.
Go ahead.
Contrast give you the optical illusion of having more saturation, but just so you know, according to Adobe, the dehaze tool is contrast plus saturation, whereas the contrast slider is just contrast in a tonal range, but it gives you an optical illusion of more saturation. But according to Adobe, the dehaze tool is a combination of the contrast and the saturation slider, and you get both. You do get contrast and saturation if you use the dehaze slider.
So you could, if you don't like the blue, then you could actually go down here to saturation, pick your picker, and decrease the blue without affecting the other colors. So that's the way to get around that.
So, in conclusion, Jack, I'm not discounting it. I was just using it to make a teachable moment.
No, I appreciate that. These comments are very, very helpful and informative. That's great.
Well, there's so many different ways to do things. And don't forget, because it is ICM, you're going to have these lines. That's part of ICM. So there's kind of hard to get rid of all of those.
Would it be possible at all to kind of mitigate some of those lines by maybe, I don't know, maybe bringing down texture or bringing down clarity just to soften it a little bit? Would that help at all?
I mean, that is something that Stephanie does a lot. She does a lot of, she reduces the clarity because it does, you can see the difference here. That's increasing the clarity or decreasing the clarity, I'm sorry. So it does make things more soft and dreamy like. It doesn't really eliminate the lines. I mean, we could see if we texture.
Well, I was thinking because Jack mentioned when you had used the linear gradient. So I was just saying, when you had used the linear gradient, it darkened, so you didn't have it quite so bright, but then it brought out those lines. And I was just wondering if you could still use the linear gradient and do what you did as far as bringing down the highlights, but then maybe, again, using clarity or something like that to soften a little.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jan. Use negative clarity when you're in there as well. You're exactly right. You've got the concept correct.
Okay. That makes things more less clear. It makes it less clear. Anything else on this one? All right. Next one is Garden Roller Coaster. This one is, this is Jack's, and the score is 23.2. Go ahead, Jim.
I'll let somebody else go right now. I'm still settling down here.
Go ahead, Robert.
It's been one hell of a day and night.
Go ahead, Robert.
Jack, can you tell me why your brights are so bright?
They're bright. They're bright.
Oh, that better?
Yeah.
That was my only comment.
Much better.
I'll buy that. Yep.
Just a little depth. I mean, I don't know if we should add some black to this one as well. Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah. No contrast. Just to give
No,
it
the contrast doesn't work.
Maybe that's so much better.
I mean, the problem is this is right here, Jack, is totally blown out because we've got nothing over here to the left, right? You see there's nothing over here. So there's no information here, so we can't even bring that back. So that's how bright that is.
Yeah.
Second thing I would like you to do is I'd like
the histogram. If you've got whites in your picture and there's nothing over here on the right-hand side of your histogram, then there's no data there. So there's nothing you can do about these white spots unless you get rid of, just clone them
Crop
out.
it.
Let me have you do one other thing, Lynn.
Okay.
Is to take your in your hue saturation deal, take your saturation, put it on the green, and let's desaturate it a little bit. All right, just a little bit, yes.
There.
Okay, yeah. And now on that same green, lower the luminance. There you go.
Okay.
Now you see what I did, guys, there? I'm in the HL cell or the color mixer, and I'm on the mixer section, and I've got these 3 panels open up. You've got hue, saturation, and luminance. So I click this little jobby here and click it on the color to change, and you scroll down to decrease or scroll up to increase.
Oh, I wondered how that worked, Lynn. Thank you for that explanation.
Color of the flowers. Mm-hmm. I'm not.
I like that.
I'm not too sure about the stock yet, but.
I like that.
Okay, Jim, are you ready?
So Lynn,
Sorry, I'm having to answer something that I can't ignore on my phone right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Lynn, when you affected that by moving it up and down?
Yeah, no, I just see, I click on this little thing.
Yeah, on the target, right.
And I click here and I'm scrolling.
Right.
And
The
down.
mouse. You scroll the mouse.
As I'm scrolling, watch watch over here. It's moving.
Okay.
And it's changing the color.
Oh, right.
I see it's moving as I'm scrolling up and down. So if you want to decrease it, you scroll down, and if you want to increase it, you scroll up.
Okay,
That's pretty convenient.
I hadn't seen that before.
This does that color, but remember, it's not just the color right here. It's all the green.
Affects all the greens, right?
So
If you can't use that with a mask, correct? Because that doesn't open up with a mask.
No.
In Photoshop, you can.
Photoshop you can, in Lightroom you can.
Right.
You can do it using the camera raw filter in Photoshop on a layer with a mask.
Okay.
Robert, I have a question for you.
I have 3 answers if you'd allow me.
Okay, I like the change in tonality, the color, the hue of the green. I like what it did to the picture. What motivated you to do that, though? I mean, what did you see that I didn't see? I thought it was, very the green was very saturated, and I thought it was a good thing. But now that I see this, it looks like it allows the white flowers to come out better, and the green takes less of attention.
Correct.
And I like the results, but what motivated you? Was it that, or what was it that you saw?
Well, it comes down to the fact that I am just brilliant. That's just the first thing.
Come on. Answer the question, Robert.
And along with my brilliance and my BS.
The brilliance is only surpassed by your BS, but go ahead.
All right. So here's what's happening here. You have your main subject, or the subject is the white flower.
Right.
All right. The white flower is coming through way too strong. We see the white, but inside those white flowers are petals with color on them.
Yeah.
All right. If those colors are to shine, they should not ever compete with the underlying layer, which is the green.
Yeah.
Because once the two of them compete, you lose your audience because there is no real depth in the photograph.
I got you. Well, I like the changes. Very good.
All right,
now, back to my brilliance.
Next one is Flamingo and Flora. This one is also Jack's. The score is 23.6. Come on, guys. It's 8:45. That's a flamingo. Is this a double exposure, Jack?
No, it's a single exposure, just intentional camera movement.
Yeah, but
one about 50
Flamingo wasn't.
You spun the camera?
I'm sorry?
Did you spin it?
Yeah, the camera was spun.
Okay. All right, just atop the head of the penguin, whatever. All right,
Flamingo.
there's big white
Flamingo.
Flamingo. There's a big white.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one in the middle.
Yeah. I don't know why I left that. I should have taken that off.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right now, I'd like for you to take a brush.
Yeah.
And brush over the green, that big green. Yes. Yes. Turn off auto mask.
Okay, what do you want me to do there?
All right, I'd like for you to intersect that with the luminous picker. Intersect mask with luminous range.
Mask with luminance range.
Click on the bright portion of on the brightest portion. Yes. Great. I'd like for you to bring the highlights down first.
Okay.
Great. Absolutely. I'd like for you to go down to your color and add a little bit of green in there. Just a little bit of green. And lower the exposure just slightly. Great. Now, add a new mask or and select color range. Click on the pink. Raise the saturation in that area.
Enough?
Yeah.
Voila.
It's so
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Clean it up here.
Yeah.
So this is too bright.
Yeah.
Not as bright, and the pink is brighter and more saturated.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. You get a 25, Robert. No, those are excellent comments. Thank you. Very instructive. Why is it so easy to see tonight? Then, but I
It's
couldn't see
always
it.
that way. It's always that way, Jack.
It's so obvious, but that's,
Yeah.
Okay, but you know, you guys we're finding, you know, we're having to be pickier and pickier to get. It's not like this is the way it is always time. Okay, on to the next one. Up and away. This one is Jan's, and the score is 23.9. Speak, people.
I think the whites are a little bright.
In this case, I think I don't have a problem with that personally, me speaking, because the colors themselves are also so vivid and bright, and they contrast well with the bright white. I actually would not like to see them against a muddy white. The brighter white, for me, works better for contrasting those colors. And I really do like the pattern that exists here and the interplay of the primary colors that are going on here, and that big blue one at the top left corner that everything leads to.
Those umbrellas?
Yeah. This is downtown Chattanooga, and it's a little place called Umbrella Alley. So it has a bunch of us obviously suspended, like a canopy of umbrellas above you.
Now, the only thing I was thinking, maybe just a little more contrast. I don't know. Just to make the lines of the handles a little darker.
Yeah.
That does darken the white,
And-
and Robert's right. It is a little funny looking. Yeah, you're right. I thought it would be better, but
Yeah, I intentionally, I mean, that's the sky. I intentionally blew it out and then tried to make the white as bright as I could, just so the
Yeah,
color-
I would personally, I look at that and I wouldn't even mind it being even brighter.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Jim.
Not that bright.
Yeah. You know, if you just take the white, like the white slider and pump the white slider up, and then and then do the saturation.
Lessen it or increase it?
Oh, more. Get the color. Yeah, there. That's what I'm talking about.
That's where you.
It almost pops. Now you made it pop.
It's the right side, man. You don't get to do that very often.
Vivid.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's a histogram that would kill an image, but this is one of those exceptions to that. This is one of those. Oh, can we mute Jack's microphone?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those exceptions where, that the histogram that looks like that is good for this image.
Yeah, you can see pretty
Yeah, I
much
like it better
everything's
that
slammed up against the right-hand side because everything is so saturated and bright. Oh, but it's cool. Very cool. Another one that can be printed. This would be good
Yeah,
on,
I like the colors on
yeah,
it.
this would be good on metal.
Yeah. And it is a multiple exposure. Because I came from the upper left and then down to the lower right, and then I did the opposite direction.
Yeah, you can see those lines here.
Yeah, exactly.
Very effective though. All right, back to this one. Next one is not really reflection. Hold on a second, I lost my score sheet here. This one is Brian's, and the score is 22.4. We don't have much of an ICM going on up here.
The bottom is ICM.
What is this?
Right, I see that.
Is the two frames? I mean, is it a composite?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw this as being a composite. Yeah.
The top part is a long view, and then the bottom part, I went closer to that got right up by that building and did a ICM on the building, and then I combined the two images and put the ICM in the bottom part and left the top part the way it was.
Speak, people, speak.
It's better than the butterfly.
Yeah,
Well,
it goes with it.
It's actually just the opposite in my eyes.
Really?
You ignored all of the rules of exposure. You look at your back there on your building at the bottom right of the buildings in the back. You're way overexposed in those areas. Way overexposed. So even if you did combine them and you are doing the composite, you must first make sure that the exposures and composition and all those things that I talked about impact and interest is in place on your main image, even before you apply your composite on the second image. Now, Brian,
Lynn?
I think you can see that.
I want you to do something for me as well, Lynn, because in this instance, there's a lot of extraneous stuff that absolutely doesn't need to be part of this. Yeah, definitely turn it up, pull up a little bit from the bottom, get rid of that bright white sliver at the bottom. We absolutely don't need that. Now, pull in from the left past that blown out highlight building. I mean, pull in from the right, pardon me, past that blown highlight building that Robert is talking about. Yep, there, stop there. Now, get rid of all that empty sky above that building. Now it's about the building and its ICM reflection, and we lost a lot of unnecessary and distracting elements.
Yeah, okay, I see that. I was so focused on the left part, I didn't even pay attention to the right part, and that's why it should have gone away.
You know, Jim would rather see it like blue instead of brown. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks a little more realistic this way. This is a function of the lighting. But if you do this, it looks more real.
Yeah, you could actually take like an eyedropper and click on the building between the windows and and get a neutral white balance on that. Yeah, right there. Yep.
Yeah, I was pretty clueless on the ICM thing, and my scores tonight demonstrated that.
But we told you your ship one was fine. It was good ICM. The butterfly.
It was the butterfly. The butterfly was the killer on it.
Yeah, I wasn't here for the discussion on that. I'm going to have to go back and watch the replay because even when I did the scoring and looked at that, I was like, "Whoa, this is going to be an interesting discussion when this comes up." That and there was a tree that I had a lot of questions about.
All right, next one is good vibrations. This one is Lori's. and the score is 23. I think this is the first one Lori has submitted in a long time, so.
I noticed that. I was happy to see a submission.
Say something, people.
Thank you, Jim.
But yeah. Now, I'll just throw this out there when it comes to abstract things like this, which this goes into the realm of totally abstract. Things in the abstract realm can go so abstract that you don't actually have anything that your mind references and says this resembles one thing or another, or and at a certain point with abstract stuff, if your brain can't relate it to anything, then you look at it and you just say, well, that's a jumble, and you move on mentally. And for me, I don't know if anybody else, this is very subjective, but in me, that's how I look at a lot of abstract stuff. Something like this,
Yeah.
I look at it, and my eye goes to those bright squiggles at the top, and there's the abstract doesn't even reference in an abstract realm something that my brain would say, oh, that's an abstract of something. It's, I don't know if that's making any sense to anybody or not.
It does.
All right, go back to the crop where you were, Lynn. All right, stay right there. Now rotate. Go back. Rotate clockwise. Go counterclockwise. I'm sorry. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit. I don't need much. All right, great. Great.
I like that.
And the improvement I see here is,
Oh my God, it's fabulous.
is now I can look at this and my mind says ripply water, the surface of water. There's there is some frame of reference that the abstract takes my mind to. When the other squiggles are in there, that takes away the anything that my mind can go to as a comparative reference.
I would have done it completely opposite. I would have kept the squigglies up at the top
Maybe I want you to
and
print that.
cut the bottom. Bring the bottom, not quite that much, but something.
And I don't argue with that either, because I can look at this and I can say, oh, like vehicle light trails or something, smearing or whatever. But the two parts of the image are so disparate from one another that my brain can't combine them into a comparative reference. But one or the other actually does work as an abstract for me.
Or you had 2 in 1 here.
I know. You listen. I'm
did
very excited about both of them.
All right, moving on to the next one. This is also Lori's.
Mm-hmm.
And this score is 22.9.
I'm on the same thing. Just take the top portion out for me.
Mm-hmm.
How far? Down.
Just past that.
There.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yep. There you are. Right there. Mm-hmm.
Much better. Tap the letter F as in Frank for me. And I think Lori, you'll enjoy this.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And like I say, yes, now I see abstract that brings to mind references of flowing water, like this is more like flowing water and things like that. That's total and complete abstract, can be confusing for the mind of the viewer, but an abstract that brings a comparative reference to mind can work very well with the viewer.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Last but not least of the assigned is twins. This one's Leslie's, and the score is 23.7.
I like the colors in this one a lot.
Mm-hmm. I like the color palette as well. I would like to see just, you know, a little bit tighter crop, especially up from the bottom, so that the green, the amount of green isn't so overpowering with the other colors. You've got a Mardi Gras color theme going on there.
And the only thing I what would have done is lessen the brightness on that yellow.
Mm-hmm. I won't argue with that either.
And I'm
was my-
monitoring that only because I was the third judge. Otherwise, I'd shut my mouth.
What was that score?
23.7.
Thank you.
All right, so we got just 4 generals and we'll be done. This one is Summer Dragonfly, Ultra Reality. This is Fong, and the score is 24.5.
Where is Fong?
Here.
You make me sick, actually.
Huh?
You make me sick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because this is
In a good way.
such a beautiful image, and you make me sick that I didn't do it.
Oh, I
Yep.
invited you for dinner. Oh.
This is nitpicky. I would just bring it down a little bit from the top. There's, you know, a little more at the top, I think, you know, to bring it down into the hello. To bring the top kind of down into the yellow, like you have the bottom into the yellow, and, you know, there, right there, bingo, right there.
Okay.
Fong,
Yes,
this is
that's
great.
gorgeous. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
This is a multiple. Is it a multiple exposure, Fong, or is it layer? You know, multiple pictures.
Multiple, 3 times multiple.
Yeah.
Because I wait 20 minutes, only one dragonfly. So
And
I
did
said,
you
oh,
shoot
take
So
a
you get
3
tired of waiting.
multiple.
Yeah. Did you combine it in Photoshop or did you do it in camera?
In camera.
Okay, awesome.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's even
Wow.
better.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I have a question. So I use multiple now, use Nikon D850. They ask me can choose dark or choose light or choose average. I just use average. So what situation use dark? I forget.
The dark one, if you remember Jan's the tree, that one, the ICM tree, that was done with the dark mode. So yeah, it really depends on what you're shooting. So obviously if something has some darkness, it's going to be darker. If it's lighter, it's going to make it lighter. And average mode is where, you know, most multiple exposures are shot, unless you're playing with, you know, with like ICM, because that's
And thank you for mentioning that, Lynn. You just answered a lot of my questions about the picture of the tree.
yeah, that was a dark one.
Thank you.
All right. Next one is Catching Some Rays. This one is Sylvia's, and the score is 23.9.
That's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I love that shot. I love the way the light came in on the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
at sunset. And I don't normally shoot the cranes anymore because they're so common and there's so many and everybody, but the light was
The light is perfect.
Yeah.
I had to get a tree to block it so it wasn't going to totally silhouette. It was so kind of bright. But and then he decided to do that. Just that was my side.
Yeah, just 2 of them standing there wouldn't have been nearly as effective as this
No,
one.
no.
Right. Right.
Okay, Sylvia, when did you return them back to the store? Because I need to borrow them.
I'm going to keep them so I can shoot them again.
Robert, just because you can't get a bird like this doesn't mean nobody else can when they're alive.
He's jealous.
Next one is Girl at Park.
I'm going to jump in on this one because
Wait a minute.
Okay.
It's Richard Edwards, and the score is 22.8.
Oh, brother. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
Go ahead. Now you can.
I love the lighting on it.
Mm.
So, but obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. So
All right. I want you to enlarge this image. Go to the base of her neck on the right-hand side.
You want it bigger than that? It's 100%.
Yes, bigger.
Okay. 200%. Is that good?
Yeah. Now move that around. And I want Richard, I want you to tell me, did you darken that
Yeah, the beam behind her.
yeah, keep going up. Go up a little bit
There's
more.
a there's a ghost there's a secondary ghost image along that side of the image that now that Robert did that, it's easy for everybody to see that ghost image.
All right, go up some more. No, the other way. The other way. Wait, push it up. Push. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. All right, you see down at the bottom?
Wow.
No, come back.
Yeah. The ghost image doesn't exist below a certain point.
Starts right here and it goes up along here. Yeah.
Yeah.
what causes that?
Richard.
Yes.
Brush strokes.
Yes.
Fixing that how?
Background.
Yeah. That's what
We
it
can't
is.
get away with anything, can we, Richard?
No.
They see it all.
And how would you fix that?
The second thing is that I would take that pipe out of the side over another side.
Yeah.
I did darken that a lot. Those the nails.
Just take it out.
But this
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
What I did take out was the soda can that was perched in front of her. Really?
Well, you did a good job with that part.
Yeah.
What caused the ghosting?
Brush strokes.
What do you mean?
He was dark.
Inaccurate brush strokes.
What
And
was he
darkening the
brushing?
beam behind her.
Yeah. Not brushing around the edge at a high enough magnification while working.
Okay.
But what was he brushing? I'm missing that.
He's
The
making the
wood
plank
behind her.
behind her darker.
The wood behind her was being brushed, but you
Oh,
can
got
see
it,
where
got
the
it.
brush didn't accurately get right
Got
up
it.
to her
Okay, got
clothing.
it. Boy, I didn't catch that.
I really like the light there.
Yeah, the light was pretty.
Yep.
Yeah.
The light was great.
And I like the way you framed her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The dark
Yeah.
hair against the light.
Yeah.
background.
The composition of where her head is in
Right.
relationship to the triangle behind her is nice.
That's what I liked.
Yes, that I definitely agree with you on that.
Last one is hat mannequins. This is also Richards, and the score is 23.6.
Hey, Lynn, please activate a crop and pull diagonally in from the upper right corner.
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those
Thank you.
numbers, yeah, those
Mhm.
numbers were
Words
really
always
just,
pull our
yeah.
mind, our eyes away from everything because we're humans and we like to read things.
Yeah, there was just a lot of excess that banner, back there that just had nothing to do with what we really want to look at, which is this.
I think it's a neat idea. I like the whole idea of it.
Oh yeah, that's really cool, and that's
It's really
that's why
creative.
that's why I went with that crop to just
Yeah.
bring it. You can even bring it up from the lower left hand corner a little bit as well. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There's all the visual interest right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
None of that, all that other stuff, was just extra space.
Did you shoot that in Ybor City?
That was at a craft fair in Tampa.
I really like that.
Yeah.
What we're looking at now, I'm really enjoying that repetition and the lighting on that.
Awesome. We are done.
Right.
Good job, everyone.
Not me.
Well, again, everybody, thanks for coming tonight and sticking with us. I thought we'd be done quicker, but we didn't get done quicker. So we're a lot.
There were a lot in the main. There were a lot more in the assigner category than I thought we would see.
Everybody's trying.
Oh, I was happy to see that people are interested in that and worked on that. That made me happy to see that number.
This was a redo. We did this a couple years ago and we didn't do so well. So
definitely much better.
Yeah.
I was very impressed overall when I went in at 7 o'clock this morning to judge them.
Oh my goodness.
all right, guys.
I had just finished judging at 6:30 this morning.
I'm going to stop the recording.